Hi, ladies and gentlemen. This is International Master Chang with you guys today. I'm going to be casting game with Shredded. I actually just played my first family game about 30 seconds ago. I played Darnoc as well and lost in 10 moves embarrassingly, so I figured I probably shouldn't play again for a little while. So that's why I asked Shredded if he can play for me, pretty much as in like he'll play games instead of me playing games, which is I think a better idea than making myself play because I think I'm really bad right now. So yeah, this is probably more fun this way. And let's see what's gonna happen here. So the opening goes in the slab formation. The knight c3, so black just took on c4, and so black is just pretty much holding on to the pawn there. It seems like he's doing pretty well. So far the pawn c4 can't really be taken, and after rook c1, probably knight b6 just holds a pawn. So queen c1, knight b6 is probably still forced, but the idea of knight b6 is now he can play queen f4, or knight d2, knight d2, pawn c3 probably, c3, knight b3 here. Well, this queen might be actually very close to trapped, so it might be a bit of a problem here for black here. C3 might be forced. If he doesn't play c3, maybe queen g5 instead, but queen g5 just knight takes c4, so really black doesn't really have too many opportunities in this case. Oh, rook d8, it's missing. I actually missed the idea that this pawn was hanging at the time. So I'm assuming that after, okay, so pawn takes, yep, bishop takes. If rook takes, then bishop takes a6 and queen takes c6, so it's pretty good here. In this case, I think queen c7 is probably the best move here, because obviously black takes on c4, then white takes c4, and black's pawn structure is a mess, and he's still not up a pawn anymore. So I think this is actually a very strong idea for white here. After rook d1, seems like white has a very strong position now because he has consolidated his forces, and it seems like black has a lot of weaknesses in this area. Rook d1 is probably going to be forced in this case. I don't really see how he can stop the pawn here from being dropped. Yeah, because you can't go queen e3. So okay, so h5. So this is a good idea. Pretty much black's trying to push for some queenside counterplay because that's really the only place he can go for anything. And white, in return, goes for his dark square complex because I figured that d5 is probably not the best idea. So yeah, he goes for e5. Also, he closes up this I guess what you call this diagonal, this line. Yeah, I'm not sure what this thing is called, but he closes this up, and this allows, I guess, white to have a more fixed position in the center, which I'm not sure if that's even just such a good idea because it's probably better to open up the center right now when black is behind development. But of course, in this case, pawn h4 is going to be dropping it here. So unfortunately for white here, I think he might have played knight d6 here, which will kind of suck. I don't think he wants to do that kind of move. It would be very helpful if white can play queen f4. That would pretty much solve all his problems, because then he can protect this pawn and also go queen f3 and knight takes h5 at some point. Black does seem to have a small advantage here. I think knight d6 is probably forced here. Knight d6, pawn takes, queen g5, something along those lines. Okay, so knight e2 is just going to sack the pawn on h4 here, and he's probably going to try to get knights to f4 in some cases. Not exactly sure why knight g3 here, knight e2 I mean if you want to go left, right? Okay, so he goes knight d6, okay, so pawn takes that, and he goes here. And now I think this knight's going to go on f4, I believe. After can't fate knight f4, yep. So this allows white to have some other ideas now. He can go knight takes e6 in some cases, or knight takes f7, or knight e3, knight e5. So these are all really good ideas. And after, let's say, bishop e7, which should be forced, don't see what else black can do here. I think that white's gonna have to play queen c5 here, which maybe queen c5 might not even be such a good move here. Yeah, I think that black might just be a pawn here in this case. It's kind of unfortunate, but I think that might happen. So yeah, I'm not too sure what to do here for white. White doesn't have too many other options. He has to pretty much sack a piece here or something to get some kind of counterplay. Unfortunately, he doesn't have. His queen has to be on g3. If his queen on g3, then he can sack on f7 and create some wacky stuff. So d5. Okay, d5 is a good move here, and this is a very strong move for black as well. Actually, rook takes d6 because bishop takes d6, thinking pawn takes d6 and takes an e6. Obviously, that's gonna be quite a bit of a problem. But in this case, I think that if he takes on d6, then bishop takes d6, then he can take on f4 afterwards. So I'm assuming I'm gonna have to go knight h3. If I go knight h3, then you just he takes d5, and black's gonna get, let's say, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 pawns. He's gonna get 7 pawns, 4 pawns. You can get 3 pawns for the exchange, which is quite a good trade because many of black's pawns are located very strong locations in the center, and the bishop pair is probably gonna help out a lot. So yeah, this is I understand this move entirely. So queen c5 is now forced. Queen c5 and queen takes f5 is pretty much the main idea. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so now rook takes f7 looks to be good as well. Seems like white has some very strong trickery here. Queen c5 is probably going to be played. I mean, queen takes a7 probably is going to be played next, or queen takes c6. Okay, so the idea for white is probably going to be pawn e7, pawn just queen that pawn in some cases. White definitely has a very strong game here. I actually completely missed pawn d5. That was a very strong move. So I'm glad that he saw the move because I would not have. Okay, so rook queen on e5. So white's basically waiting for black. Black's probably going to take on e6, but pretty much his own idea. And I'm not I'm not too sure about this move. So what happens now? Okay, so rook takes f8, pawn e7 check, and then rook f6 and queen. So this looks like a winning combination if black goes for it, and I don't want to see what he can do about it. I think black has to go for this. I mean, he can just take the pawn here, but he's just gonna be down 2 rooks for 2 bishops, and that should be lost. But I mean, that's probably his only alternative. He can't take this guy because if he takes this guy, then pawn e7, rook f6, and then actually, okay, rook takes f8, pawn e7, king f7, queen. King takes f8, queen takes c8 check. So white's going to have the queen and rook for queen and bishop. And that's probably going to be the only alternative that black really has, because otherwise white's going to go e7, or just, e7 should win in most cases. So in this case, I think that he has to either take the pawn, rook takes h8, queen takes e6 check, or taking this way. I don't think he has any other alternatives, and let's see what he said. Okay, bishop b7. I have I did not. Okay, queen e8. Wow, how does this exactly work here? What if I just check on? Okay, so what if I just take on h8? What's gonna happen here if I take on h8? Bishop h2, king h1 takes g2. I'm assuming king takes. Sorry. Okay, so queen here. I guess I'm gonna take this guy, obviously. And is that a perpetual? This might be a perpetual. I'm not sure. Queen e4, king here, queen here. Okay, so I'm gonna just see what happens here. White does have some time, but he has to be a bit careful. I think this might be perpetual. I really, wow, that's amazing. I cannot believe that this is a perpetual. Wow, that's that's quite amazing here. Yep, that's perpetual. That's perpetual. Yeah, White should just click the draw before he loses. Okay, wow, that was quite exciting game. Darnoc played extremely well here. Bishop b7. I totally didn't see this idea. Wow, it's a very strong idea by Darnoc. He escaped. He barely escaped, but he did. And it was a very well played game at White actually. And yeah, it's not much else to say, but that was a really fun game. Even though it was a draw, I thought both sides played extremely well. So thank you guys for watching, and I guess I've been working now. I start working this week, so I'm probably not I'm gonna have even less time, but I'm gonna try to do this on the weekends when I have days off and stuff. And I guess strategist gonna look at the game now, gonna analyze what happened. And yeah, rook g8. I think rook g8 might be. Would rook g8 win here? Or Yeah, because he has to go with G8 here in this case. So Queen E7 here, and now takes H8. And I guess in this case, I'm sorry guys, I'm just following along here with Shred, seeing what he does. So in this case, would he just would this just work? Queen E7, King G4, it takes. If take this guy, obviously it takes B7, that just wins. So just following along Shred here with with his analysis. And whoa, okay, keep player scene. I guess the world's being exposed. I'm just waiting for him to see what he's gonna say here. Sorry guys, this is gonna be a longer thing. He's a very disturbing player. Yeah, fail. Yep. I'm gonna just type. Okay, and I guess that's the end of my analysis this time. This was pretty fun actually. Okay guys, so thank you very much. Knowing that is effing retarded. Yes, I agree. I thank you very much guys, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye bye.